You're watching Bear Down Sports, the best Chicago Bears content. Now buckle up and bear down.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. I am alive. I know some of you guys are commenting, but I did forewarn you guys. I said I'm taking a little more time, and we've hit summer now. The girls are out of school. My boy, I don't know if a lot of you guys, I have an older boy too. My boy's out of school. We got family time stuff, and we're hitting the slow season. But I got so much planned, and then I do this, and I'm like, I want to do more. I'm telling you, I got coming up, guys. I got an Austin Booker video I've been working on, and I'm telling you, the Austin Booker video is going to be better than my Jammery Chroma video, and I really want to get it out, but I want to do a good job on it. Austin Booker is going to be a freaking stud for us. He's going to be a beast. Maybe not this year. Maybe this year. We'll see. But he's going to be a beast. I'm glad we drafted him. Those who were watching me live, I don't remember. I wasn't on my channel. I wasn't on my channel for day 2. Where was I? I was on I don't remember. Man, guys, that's this offseason. That's this offseason and where we are. Thanks for those of you who are tuning in. I know we got a small audience right now. We got a little downtime this offseason, but we have some good things we're going to talk about. We have some good topics to go over. And yes, in the comments, it is confirmed. Justin Fields confirmed that he did choose to go to Pittsburgh. It was his preferred destination. He didn't want to go to the West Coast for some reason. Don't know why. There were a couple places I thought he would have filled in great there. That's right. Bears Country Podcast. Thanks, Carl. I'm space brain, but I do have some good things we're going to talk about today. We'll see how far we go into it, but I want to bring up some things, some critical things that I think will help people understand where we are in OTAs. And yes, this was pre-planned. OTAs were not ever going to be media available these first 2 days. These are voluntary, and no, we don't know who has or hasn't been there. It's optional, but why wouldn't they be with a new team, with a new coaching staff, with new offensive coordinator, new receivers coaches, quarterback coaches? And the cool thing is, I don't know if you guys saw the CHGO John Jackson interview. That's really interesting. Go watch that if you haven't seen it. John Jackson, as you know, is self-proclaimed Caleb's best friend. I don't know if he really is Caleb's best friend. I don't know if Caleb has confirmed that, but they are good friends. He ended up transferring to Nevada. So I did not care for him until the Bears signed him. Now I love him again. If you don't know, I graduated UNLV, and Nevada's our rival that we've been owning lately. Hasn't always been that way, but he went to Nevada. He didn't do anything there. But so he talked about recently Caleb's drive and his passion. And CHGO was interviewing him, and he said he wants to win all 17 games. But the other thing was he's in there every day at 6 o'clock. He's in there, the first one in, the last one out. And that's what we talked about with Justin Fields. That's what so many people love. So this whole Hollywood thing that we'd been hearing about with Caleb, it's non-existent. Like everyone you hear about with him, even his own words at the rookie minicamp is right now, I'm here to learn. I'm here to shut my mouth and listen to the vets and learn. If you want to be a great leader, you've got to learn to be a great follower. And so everything he's doing is that blue collar, nose down, go to work, first one in, last one out. And I'm freaking loving every second of it. You saw, if you didn't see, go look it up. With the rookies all got together basically for their press release so they can get on all the video games and all the sports cards and all that stuff. They get together for a photo shoot, but in there they met with among the most notable, Tom Brady. Sat down for dinner with him, and there's the iconic picture of Caleb next to Tom Brady. They're sitting there talking, and all the quarterbacks got a picture with him. Drake May got his picture, and J.J. McCarthy got his picture. Blah, blah, blah. We don't care about them. We care about Caleb sitting there next to Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's giving them advice about how one of the biggest issues with these young guys and the social media generation is they get lost in the I and the me, and it's not about the team, and a team wins. It's 53 guys that go out there and win the game. And you just see Caleb soaking it up. And I loved every second of it. So the thing with Caleb, and the other thing, man, this is free talk. This is Free Talk Tuesday. And as a reminder, guys, I did forewarn this too. I can't do it in the middle of the night on Monday anymore. And and have it ready to go Tuesday morning. So you're going to get different time frames. We'll get something established eventually. But remember, my channel's only 5-6 months old, so we're learning as we go. But for now, they're going to be on Tuesday afternoons after the girls go back to their mom. I am divorced, and I have a little bit more time to get caught up on things. Space Brain, where was I going with that? Caleb Williams, Free Talk Tuesday. Sorry, there was. Oh man, I had this lined up, guys. I'm usually not stutterish. Let me hurry and look at the article real quick because there was on. Okay, here it is. So this is on Sports Mockery, who I haven't always loved because they bashed on Justin Fields so much. But this was pretty cool. From Albert Breer is where it comes from. But so during the interview process, during preseason or during the combine and all that time in there, they can have up to 3 hours where they have phone calls and interviews with these players too, where they can talk to them and discuss things with them. And it was revealed by Albert Breer that to get Caleb Williams up to speed, because they already had in there, they were taking Caleb Williams to get him up to speed. They used those 3 calls to be able to teach him terminology. So here's what it says. During the first one, the Bears taught Williams the terminology, giving him a foundation on what to call formations and motions within new offensive coordinator Shane Waldron's scheme. During the second, they started installing their base, normal down plays. During the third, they put in red zone and third down plays. So they didn't even use those 3 phone calls, those 3 hours of calls to drill him, to interview him, they already had him as the fit. They already knew. And as you know, from the top 30 visit, they used that time for him to interact with the teammates, to build culture, to be able to build cohesion. That's the biggest thing with these rookie quarterbacks. So you hear people talking about, we got to temper our expectations. We got to scale it back. He's going to be a rookie. Every rookie goes through the learning curve. Every rookie goes through their struggles. Regardless, it's bound to happen. It's going to happen, period. That's true. And the biggest reason, when you get to the NFL level, not only are you having a longer season, but it is a very complex system and the schemes are different. And so I don't know if you've watched, but go watch anything with CJ Stroud. He's very intelligent. And that was the thing. When you listen to these guys, I didn't hear this year about the intelligence scores that they give these guys. I didn't hear anything about who was top and who was last. But CJ was kind of bashed on last year because he was going to be the stupid one of the class. I mean, basically, I don't know how else to put it, but CJ was not the intelligent one. He was dumb. And so was he going to be able to pick up the concepts? Was he going to be able to hear from his offensive coordinator in his ear, jet sweep, 22 Mike, 33 option, right boot, blah, 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 whatever. I mean, there's a billion things they rattle in their ears, and you've got to relay that to the team, and then you've got to have your audibles, and you've got to be able to read the defense. And this is why the quarterbacks are paid the most. So this Free Talk Tuesday is going to go a little different direction than kind of where I planned it. But this is why quarterbacks are paid the most. They need to know what their offensive linemen are doing. They need to know what their tight ends are doing, their running backs are doing, their receivers are doing. They've got to know every single concept of what all these guys are doing. Whereas your wide receivers, they've probably studied what they need to do, what their defensive backs are doing, what their opponent is typically up to, what route they need to run, what they need to do with if this, audible is called, if something happens. But the quarterback really needs to know every different aspect of the play of each of the players, what they're going to do. And if something goes wrong, where we have a hot route, where we have different things happening, what's going to be the audible, what's going to be the check down. And if you listen to CJ Stroud, he understands the game of football freaking well. So yes, I'll bag on CJ because he's not arrived yet. It wasn't all because of him. And I used the same. So here's the difference. So I've used, if you see me on Twitter, just ignore me, guys. Just don't follow Adam on Twitter. Adam on Twitter is a bad thing to do. He's very unfiltered. Remember, I'm not a journalist. I'm not this isn't my living. My living is insurance and crypto and these different things that in financial world. And so that's what I do all the time. And I got into this because I have such a passion for the game and I played football and I love football. But if you listen to, so CJ Stroud and Jordan Love both had bad metrics, poor passer rating and bad adjusted completion percentage. The difference is you've got a bumbling moron with a goofy look on his face saying, Happy Father's Day, Bears fans. Like wishing us a happy Father's Day because we're his father when he doesn't understand how to even make a diss or make some kind of funny joke. And on the other hand, you got CJ Stroud, you listen to him, and he freaking understands. So that's the thing with Caleb Williams. They're giving him the playbook early. They're giving him concepts early. They've got him in there now. He's in there at 6 a.m. He's the last one to leave. He's putting in the work with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. He's building the chemistry, the cohesion. As a Bears fan, this is what I love. This is why I loved Justin Fields. I love the dedication. The difference is Caleb's got that natural throwing ability. He's got the natural twos. Justin Fields was always considered to be developmental. I have nothing negative to say about Justin Fields. Going back to where this started, Justin Fields said today, I was given the option to where to go. It's confirming basically that Ryan Poles is a freaking stud, and he took a 6th-round pick, potential to be a 4th, because he allowed him to go where he wanted to go, instead of trading him for a 2nd or 3rd round pick or whatever it could have been. And then you see stuff from Steelers camp, and you see video, and you see him in the locker room being interviewed and saying, yeah, I'm going to compete. I don't plan to be the backup. I don't plan to just take a back seat. I'm going to compete. Why don't we freaking get that for the Bears? Why are the McCaskies so tight-lipped? Why are we not having fun watching our team right now? I think all of us are a little bit pissed off. This is like the dark season, the dark couple of days. And just so you guys know, Thursday, the media will be there. They're going to do the interviews. They're going to be there on the field. They're going to be making videos. They're going to be doing their thing and giving us some coverage. But until then, we're sitting here in the dark, twiddling our thumbs, being frustrated about it. But back to Caleb. Oh, sorry, guys. I am ignoring the chat for now. I'll get to it. When you see me look over here, that's when I'll look at the chat. I appreciate every one of you being here. This is my free talk, so I will ramble a little bit more. But Caleb, since childhood, I mean, the stories about his dad and his mom accidentally having access to his phone, the texts were coming through, and I think he was 12 or 13 years old, and a girl texted him late at night, and his mom's like, he's supposed to be in bed, and his dad's like, I know, dear, I know, just let it go. And the girl says, hey, call me on the phone, call me. And he goes, his response was, I can't, I got training in the morning. Like, that's from 13 years old, man. I mean, I was dedicated to sports all in high school. I was all about it. But, I mean, that's freaking next level. And then to hear this coming to here and it happening, none of that Hollywood crap transferred over. None of it came, guys. We didn't get any of that Hollywood crap. He hasn't even been painting his nails. Right when I accept it and I adapt it, and I have my little girls. No, they're not painted right now. I have my little girls painting my nails, and I post it on Twitter, and I show you guys that stuff. Now he's not even painting his nails. I mean, he painted a pinky for the draft, but that was it. Now, that was kind of cool too. If you saw John, his teammate now too, technically, John Johnson, talk about that. Caleb was talking to him beforehand and said, "What would it look like if I went out there on the stage and went rah?" He said, "That's kind of corny, dude." And then he said he naturally just kind of did it, and he didn't expect it to be this blown up thing. But that's what happens when you're iconic like Caleb. I mean, he owns this city already. Claw's taken over. It's already done. And yeah, my little girls run around the house. The claw, it's kind of turned more into like a Jim Carrey type of claw thing where we chase each other around and tickle. But the claw, it's real. Bear claws up. Claws up has become the new saying. Bear down and claws up. So, okay. So let's get into some of the actual content. Yes, you caught me at a ramble for 15 minutes, but I'm going to say this one more time. Caleb Williams is impressing the freaking hell out of me, and I love that he's our quarterback. And if any quarterback has an opportunity to have that first-year season, it's Caleb. Not just because of the tools around him, because it's going to come down to him in the playbook, understanding the concepts, getting it down, being knowledgeable. And everyone you hear talk about him says he gets it. And it wasn't just, I mean, same thing in college, going from Oklahoma, going to USC, he had to switch coordinators. So he had more than one system that he ran there. Now he's getting it in the NFL. Here we are. Okay. So I want to go over the upcoming stuff today. I want to go over the predictions we had because the schedule was released last week. And I want to talk about the importance of what that meant. Then I'm going to go over the roster and I'm going to hit the linemen today, the offensive linemen. Then by this weekend, my goal is to have out my Austin Booker video. And I'm telling you guys, You're going to love Austin Booker. Austin Booker is not taking a back seat this season. Austin Booker might be the reason we don't sign a defensive end this offseason. I know everyone's expecting it. I know everyone's wanting it. Another defensive end. I don't know if we're going to get another defensive end because Austin Booker has that much potential. We probably won't see him shining until the second half of the year once he's got some things down. Kind of like Big Dex. Big Dex didn't have any of his sacks until the last 5 games of the season, and then he turned it up, and he was a beast. Tyreek Stevenson, first half of the year, rough first half of the year. Rough. 120 NFL passer rating against him. He was picked on nonstop, but we threw him to the fire. Second half of the season, I did a little video on it. I'm going to do some more highlighting on Tyreek Stevenson too, guys. Tyreek Stevenson was better than almost anyone in the entire league than Jalen Johnson. I'm not just saying that baselessly. Tyreek Stevenson had almost a 50 NFL passer rating against him. Jalen Johnson had 33, and that's unheard of. Most players are in the 80 to 100 range, your average players. Tyreek Stevenson was a freaking ball hawk. Not just the interceptions. Yes, he had a lot of interceptions to end the year. He was a coverage god. We have 2 of the most lockdown corners, and he's not even being talked about yet. He's going to be. With the beginning of the season, the nice thing here, let's pull up the schedule. The nice thing about this schedule, starting with the Titans, is we get to start off the bat with a weak offensive line that we get to face that allows this defense to get back up to speed, because that's what was cooking for us. And when we get that going, right into week 2, that's where the offensive line is going to be tested. The freaking Danielle Hunter, who is a Bears killer, is down there now. You add him to Anderson, freaking Will from last year's draft. They're gonna give our offensive line a test. This is where the offensive line is going to be tested, is in week 2. So here is the upcoming schedule. This does have my predictions on it. Okay. And 50-50 to me, you look at that and there's 2 losses. So if you want to talk floor and ceiling, I'm not trying to be a homer here, but really there's 2 that I expect to kind of be losses. And only because if the Texans weren't so early in the season, I think we'd get them later in the year, depending on how things go. But some of those games, these will be key games to how the season goes. 6 of them should be automatic wins, in my opinion. And then there's 50-50 games. So if you want to talk floor and ceiling, really the ceiling, if all those 50-50s go our way, that's 15 wins. Is that realistic? No, I don't think so. Is it possible? Yeah, probably not going to happen. But yeah, if all those 50-50s go the wrong way, which I don't think will happen, then we have 6 wins and we have 11 losses. So that's why I put right here, split those 50-50s. You got 10.5 wins. I think that's extremely realistic. I will be placing a bet on it. I'm going to do something on here. I'll go down to the casinos down the street from me. I live in Vegas. Casinos down the street. I got the hospital right here. I got the Raiders practice facility, literally less than a quarter mile. I can see it out my back window. I open this window right here, see the Raiders practice facility. Then I got the casino that way. I will be placing some bets on the Bears, and I will be posting them on here for you guys to see them. Nothing crazy. Bet responsibly, guys. I'm not one of those guys that's going to waste my whole payroll on gambling. I've got kids, I got a family, but I do like to do some stuff for fun because it's the Bears and I love the Bears and it just makes it more exciting. So I will do some stuff and post it on here. But I think I think a lot of analysts are overlooking the Colts this year. I have the Colts winning the AFC South. Now it is a weak AFC South other than the Texans. So you say, why do I have us losing to the Texans and 50-50 with the Colts? Well, it's the second week of straight away games. So anyways, we won't go through all these. If you want to see my predictions, you can go to that video. But there it is. There's where we stand now. And then let's go here. This is the off season. I showed this last week too. This is nothing changed on it other than, there's rookie minicamp out of the way. Football development began. NFL schedule release happened last week. Everyone's aware of that. OTA offseason workouts begin. So yesterday and today we have a break tomorrow, and then Thursday, and then next week it's Tuesday, Wednesday break, Thursday, and then Friday. And then the week after is the mandatory minicamp. I don't know who is or isn't there this week. I would assume everybody is. Maybe a couple of the old dogs aren't. This might be a reason why Mercedes Lewis hasn't been re-signed yet. But then they get the break, and I will be doing some of my vacations in there as well. So I will be down for a week or two there. And then mid to end July, we come back. We will be a little bit earlier than other teams because we have the Hall of Fame game, which is on August 1st. So we get 4 preseason games. And yeah, for the first preseason game, I don't expect Caleb to play at all. In fact, I don't expect any of the starters to play at all, but it will be fun to see some of these undrafted free agents, some of these guys fighting for a roster spot. So let's go into the actual team. So here's the team. And this is what I want to go into today. In fact, let's hurry and look at the chat. I'm not paying attention to the guys. Doesn't mean I don't love you guys. I love every one of you. Squeegee, King Book of World. Carl's here from Ty and Smy. If anybody hasn't checked out Ty and Smy yet, go in there. Go check it out. You need to go check out his podcast. Carl's a really knowledgeable guy. I love to have him on here. Squeegee, Ron Winaski, Tone P, Ramble On. That's funny. You got it. I'll keep rambling, guys. Brian Gilmore, Rob Hansen, good to see as always. Steve Lopman, FGB, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Eric Harper, always good to see you. Dave S. If I'm missing anyone, I apologize. Hippie Nerd. Relentless Mikey. Woo! I'm always going to put you up, brother. Relentless Mikey in the house. Dark to light. All right, so let's go over this team. This is what I want to show you guys today. So the big thing going around right now is the whole right here, Coleman Shelton and Ryan Bates. And I don't know who's going to be the starting center. I don't. It was on the Bears website that Coleman Shelton was the starting center when we signed him. But we know that Ryan Poles wanted to trade for Ryan Bates last year. Let's get out of Nate Davis here. Let me get rid of my mug. You guys can just see this. I'm screen sharing my PFF. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's go to Ryan Bates. Here's my thoughts on this whole. Now, here's really what it's going to come down to. And this is the free talk. Whoever gels with Caleb Williams in the preseason the best is going to be the starting center. The big thing last year is we couldn't get a freaking I'm gonna make me a little bigger for a minute so I can talk. We couldn't get a freaking snap off with Justin Fields. I mean, they would be over his head by 10 feet. They would be down in the dirt. They'd be off to his right. They'd be coming when they weren't supposed to be coming. That was the issue. Center was one of our biggest weaknesses last year. If you take our overall PFF grade, it was almost 40. It was in the 40s. I'm a little exaggerative right now, but it was in the 40s, and that's terrible. Terrible. It's just terrible. It was bad. So as long as the center can get the ball to him, I don't think it matters which one. Now everyone's saying, well, Ryan Bates is younger. Ryan Bates isn't that younger. Ryan Bates is 27 years old. Coleman Shelton's 28 years old. Well, we traded for Ryan Bates, so that means he's a better player. Well, they were probably going to cut Ryan Bates, to be honest. Now, I'm not saying anything negative about Ryan Poles, but it's not like he was cooking in Buffalo. And Coleman Shelton was really just a salary cap issue, and they were trying to basically rebuild their line. It's kind of like an Eddie Jackson situation, not some amazing player, not some terrible player, but just a salary cap situation where you got to clean it up. And that's why Coleman Shelton was cut. So it's not like we were just picking up scraps. He was the 17th rated out of 36 centers last year. So he was average, middle of the pack. It's not like we went and signed some garbage player. He was a Super Bowl champion. He wasn't the starter. Well, he wasn't the dominant factor there, but he's been on a Super Bowl champion team. So let's look here. Let's go back here and let's pull up Ryan Bates. And here's what I'm going to show you guys. So last year, this is what everyone's talking about. Center position. P means he was part-time. It wasn't the starter. S would say starter. And 35 total snaps. Two total pass blocking snaps. Two. And we're talking about him like he's a god. Give me a freaking break. I'm not bashing the guy. I think he's got potential. 27.2 years old. It's not like he's a spring chicken. But then look at 2022. Here's what everybody brings up. In 2022, he was a starter. Yeah, look where he was starting. Right guard. 2 games he started at center. Look at his pass blocking grades on those 2 games. 55 and 52.4. They were not spectacular. We have not found our answer at center. Okay. It's not like Ryan Bates is God sent. I'm not bashing on the Bears, but this whole debate that Ryan Bates is way better than Coleman Shelton. I'm telling you guys, I analyze this stuff 24 hours a day. I'm a freaking nerd for this stuff. I can't get enough of it. Coleman Shelton last year, look, he was the starting center for the LA Rams. Here's the downside. Let's go to his whole career. Pass blocking last year, not phenomenal. The year before, great. On 431 pass blocking snaps, he only allowed 11 pressures. That is elite. I love when I see that. 4 sacks, don't love that. So out of the 11 pressures, he allowed 4. None of these guys are the answer. That's what I'm saying. So we're going into the year. What it's going to be is when we get into training camp, when we get into, I expect both of them to be there for OTAs. You talk about Coleman Shelton being older. He's 28 years old. Ryan Bates is 27 years old. It's not like one of these guys is some older dude than the other ones. Yeah, we're on 2 years with Ryan Bates and a 1-year stint with Coleman Shelton. What I really expect, and I probably haven't done this to show you guys, I really think we're saving that salary cap, and this is why we might not go after a defensive end, to go for Connor Williams. This is the dude. 71, 69, but overall grades, 86.5. He is a run blocking phenomenal, and we ran the ball the second most in the league last year. So 6 pressures total on 280 pass blocking. I mean, that's just phenomenal. He got injured last year. Those who don't know, he got injured. He had a torn ACL for the second time in his career. Yes, there was, and he's 27 years old as well. He just barely had birthday last week. So just barely 27. Let's go back here. And yes, there was the rumor that he could be, let me go find the page where I have here for right here. This is the dude I want. I'm kind of skipping ahead to stuff, but RAS score of 9.15. Look at the bottom there. His sack hit hurries allowed 46.7. This is what I would like. I'd like him to get healthy. No, the rumor out there right now isn't that he plans on retiring. He doesn't plan on retiring right now. He's working his butt off to try to come back and heal. He's not a Bear. There's not even talks about him being a Bear right now. I would love for him to be a Bear. This is what I think could be a great answer, because you don't want a rookie quarterback with a rookie center. Bringing in a vet like this that was the number one in the league the last couple years would be awesome. I would love it. All right, let's look at the chat here for a second. My bars set pretty low. It was terrible. They were damn knuckleheads. Paul specifically called Bates interior offensive line depth. Yeah, so there was the problem, guys, is people run away with stuff, and I do it too. We all run away with stuff. People run away with stuff. We traded for Ryan Bates first, and we know that Ryan Poles wanted to get Ryan Bates last year, and they wouldn't trade us. We traded for him, and then the articles came out. We found our new starting center. Well, the next week, we signed Coleman Shelton, who was actually a starting center. The Bears at that point put Coleman Shelton as the starting center on their roster. Within the next week, it all came down because the league year was ending, it all came down. Who do they plan having as starting center? We don't know, really, if we're going to be honest. And all it really comes down to is how it goes in training camp, because that is going to be one of the pure battles that takes place this training camp. It's going to be how they do with Caleb and who has the most cohesion, because as a rookie, he needs the most consistency. He needs someone stable, someone that's snapping consistently. So I don't even think it comes down to last year's PFF grades, last year's pass blocking efficiency. It's not going to come down to that. It's going to come down to, because we've got good bookends. Nate Davis and Tevin Jenkins are really good bookends right around him. You're going to allow the most pressure from the outside. But then as you work your way inside, there should be less pressure. With Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis there, it should be pretty solid. Let's go back to this. I'm going to show you guys Nate Davis. This is why we talk about Nate Davis. He got injured for 2 games at the start of the year last year. Nate Davis then had his family issues. His mom passed away. That's freaking tough stuff. I'm going to give him a pass on that. But here's Nate Davis from 2000. Let's just go look at his bottom part here. See his 2022. That's what everyone was excited about. Those are phenomenal grades. When you're in the 70s, that's a starting caliber guard. That's why we signed him. That's why we want him. Only 14 pressures allowed on 385 pass blocking plays. Phenomenal. That's why we signed him. This down year, I'm taking with a grain of salt. I'm taking as this is too much scenario circumstance on the outside happening where we don't know what we have, but his contract is favorable if it doesn't work out. Because you look at the last couple of years before that, down pass blocking, down. I'm not sold on his pass blocking, but that last year he looked really good. Will he pull that around? I don't know. So that's why I think we signed Ryan Bates. That's why let's go back to Ryan Bates. Not Connor Williams, not Coleman Shelton, Ryan Bates. So here he is at guard. 28 pressures allowed on 615. That's pretty good pass blocking. This is why I think Ryan Bates is here. If Nate Davis does not pull it out, if he doesn't come around, you had a year of 91.4. Yes, very limited. Go away. Very limited here. His starting year, the year where he really started every snap, is this year here, 61.5. So with all those additional plays, does he have it in him too? I think he's here to compete with Nate Davis. Iron sharpens iron. I think that's why we have Ryan Bates on the team. All right. It's just me, just one man show here. So I don't have a producer. I don't have all that stuff. I got to look at some of the chat here. All right. Let's look at some of these. Every one of our competitors still thinks our O-line is trash. So I'm looking forward to polls proving them wrong. I agree with you, Thomas Gage. Here's the thing. We've got so much competition now at those spots. And the other thing you hear about, let's go here. Let's go back here. Let's go back and look at the offensive line again. Sorry, we'll get to all these. Theo Benedict, the stories you're hearing coming out now, 10 teams wanted to sign him. 10 teams wanted him. We have depth now. Kieran Amagaji is giving competition to Braxton Jones this year. I guarantee it. The dude is a freaking refrigerator, and he's gonna be right there with Braxton. I love everything about Kieran. Theo Benedict has shorter arms. I didn't love what I saw on tape, but the more I'm hearing, we could move him into guard. We could be able to have even more competition with him. I don't think he makes the 53-man roster. I think he gets stashed on the practice squad, and we develop him. But that gives us the out with Larry Borum, with Jatari Carter. These guys can go, and we can develop some of these other guys. So I really like what I'm seeing there. If all these guys stay healthy, Braxton Jones, Kieran, I would take – this is – all right, hot take. This is a reach. I know. You saw what Austin Booker did to Jordan Morgan at the Senior Bowl practices. He destroyed him. Our 5th-round defensive end killed the Packers' 1st-round offensive tackle. And these are things that hype us up, yes, but it was true. When you watch Kieran Amagaji's tape, when you watch him, yes, it was Yale. Yes, it was lower competition, but he's got good footwork. It's clean. He's a big guy that can move, and he's got a trunk. He's got a base. He will compete with Braxton Jones. Darnell Wright, Braxton Jones, Kieran Amagaji. Then you got Tevin Jenkins, Nate Davis, Ryan Bates, and then even consider like a Theo Benedict coming in and competing, or Jatari Carter. I don't like him. I've made that very clear, but he has experience, so he can step in. I'm not down on our offensive line other than that one position right there in the middle, in the center. We don't have a future center right now, but if we can land Connor Williams in the second half of the year when things are getting really tough and he's rehabbed and he comes back, I think we'd have the best offense. It's hard to say our offensive line would be better than the Lions. The Lions have a stacked offensive line, but we'd be a playoff contending offensive line. I'll say that. Right there. Mikey, glad I'm not the only one saying our center position is not solid. Hey, I'm going to be realistic about this team. 100%. Ooh, there's a random question. Notorious. What do I think of the Jared Goff contract? I'm glad we have a rookie. I'll say that much right now. I'm glad we have a rookie that's high caliber. Jared Goff, to me, is underrated. Jared Goff is a really good quarterback. I'm just glad that we have his number. I'm glad the Bears have him figured out, that we are the ones that handle him, because if we didn't, I would be worried about Jared Goff. I think all his metrics, all his advanced metrics, his adjusted completion percentage, he puts the ball on the numbers. So I'm realistic about this. It's not just because people are in a division that I talk crap. Jared Goff, to me, is a top 10 quarterback in the league. Jordan Love is hot garbage. He's trash. I think he's going to be the worst quarterback in the NFC North this year, and I think J.J. McCarthy will do better than Jordan Love. So I hate the Packers. Can you guys tell that I hate the Packers? Because I do. I hate the Packers. Connor Williams, maybe over him due to that injury. I don't know. I'm hearing different things, but I don't hear anything about him. Anything about him retiring. Yeah, but he's going home. He's going to be playing against them, and I don't think they're fixed yet. You got a point there, Mikey, but I still think that's a win for us. I agree with this, Rob Hansen. They've got to go. All right. Yeah, 10 teams did make offers to benefit, and he chose Chicago. That was big, and it was real. That came out. He wanted to come to Chicago. He wanted to come here, and he could have. He got drafted in the CFL. He could have just easily gone to the CFL and been a star up there. He wants to develop, and he wants to play in the NFL. PFF has us ranked 10th with new additions. Yeah, everything. So everything's going to come down to Caleb. It's going to come down to how well they develop him, how well the concepts are picked up. I would expect right off the bat for us to play a defensive game, to us to play the strength of our defense and allow the run game and the passing to be pretty balanced, 50-50, which in the league is heavily run. That's a heavy run game. You want to see about 60-40. As Caleb gets adapted to the NFL and we get a little bit under our belt, or if we're behind, you're going to have to see him passing a little bit more. Then I see him passing more. But I would expect the run game to be pretty strong to start the year off. And I hope Bears fans aren't frustrated by that because it's just a matter. It's a lot. It's a lot to bring all those concepts in. And that's why I love that they use those 3 Zoom calls. That's why I love that they did all this prep work to get him going, get him concepts, get him cadences, get him all the different things to get him up to speed before now. And then he's in there at 6 a.m. every day. I love it. All right, so let's skip all this. Let's go back to here. All right, so let's look at this team. All right, so here's the offense. Now we're going to go to the playmakers. And this is what I love right here is those wide receiver room. We really have a really good wide receiver room. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and guys, I'm going to find it and I'm going to pull it back out. But I said, and I was ridiculed. There's a lot of things that I've said. I'm going to be really clear. Some things I said were wrong, and I know they're wrong, but I take my take and everybody else takes their take. But I said during all this process, when I picked Rome Odunze over Marvin Harrison Jr. for one of my videos, I said Rome Odunze is the number 1 wide receiver in this class to me. Oh, I got ridiculed. Ooh, I got burnt for that one. And but then I pulled out my stats and I do everything stat-based and I do everything with reasoning and logic. And the reason was Justin Jefferson and Jalen Waddle were the only other wide receivers in the last decade to come out like Rome Odunze with a 75% completion percentage, 75% contested catch rate, and under 4% drop rate. That's so freaking rare. And I said Rome Odunze will be the number 1 wide receiver in this class. Ooh, I got burned for that one. I'm going to pull it back out. I'm going to use a run the victory lap video for that one because that was like in March that I said that one. And I think we have special in Rome. So I put that out there for you guys. I put the contest. Those who haven't seen it, go back and look at my videos. I put a contest to win a jersey. The first wide receiver to reach 1,000 yards. You predict who it was, which game, and which quarter for tiebreakers. I don't think it's going to be Rome. I think it'll be DJ, but I think Rome is going to have the most yards by the end of the year because I think Rome will take a minute to get up and going too. All rookies do, but I think he's going to have that quick accelerated learning curve too, and he's already got the cohesion with Caleb. They've already built the friendship. I think he's going to be one of the most special receivers in the league very, very soon. All right. And then we see Austin Reed, Brett Rippon. So, I mean, that's going to be another one of the competitions in camp. I see we're already on 40 minutes. I try to keep these to 45 minutes. So I'm going to try to get things going a little quicker here. I had a lot more I wanted to go over. Maybe we can go a little longer because I haven't done anything for a couple days. But DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson, that's a stacked running back room. And then if you haven't seen my video on Ian Wheeler, go check it out, guys. I think he's making this roster as a returner. And I think he's making this roster as running back 4. He's not a little boy. He's 5'10", I think, 205 pounds, and he has good juke moves. He has such strong ability to cut, to be able to see the field, to have vision. I love it. So here is the offense. Then Tommy Sweeney, Freddie Swain. If you haven't seen Freddie Swain, the addition we made there, I love that too. This is going to be, I can see us taking 7 wide receivers on the 53-man roster, unlike other years, and cutting both Kerry Blasingame and Travis Homer, taking Ian Wheeler and running with those 4 running backs. I can really see that happening. All right, let's go now to the defense. And this is why I think we might not sign another defensive end. You got DeMarcus Walker, Montez Sweat. I think Austin Booker is going to get a lot of playing time, a lot more than people think. There's Jacob Martin. Then you've got Jamry Chroma, Dominic Robinson, Khalid Kareem, and Daniel Hardy. And really, if you think about it, the Bears still like Dominic Robinson. I don't like him at all. I'll show you why. But Jacob Martin is someone that I think the Bears are higher on than we are. Let me go back and share this again. Let's go here. I like to show you guys some of the stuff that I do to look at these guys. So let's just show you a normal. Let's look at DeMarcus Walker, because he is actually a starter quality. I really like DeMarcus Walker. We're going to go to defense. 6'4". You look at the end of the year, that's where he really came on after we picked up Montez Sweat. So that would have been, this is 2022. We got to go to 23. All right, so we picked up Montez Sweat here for the New Orleans game. Really, this is where it started. And you can see everything started coming together a little bit better here as pass rushing increased. You see more greens than you did before, higher end yellows. Really quality, but you see pass rush 475 and 47 total pressures. That's about 1 in every 10. That's pretty solid. It's not all about that sack number right there. I know everyone loves that sack number, but I look more at this miss percentage, and that is a little bit high. I don't love that, but it came down significantly. If you haven't watched my other videos, significantly when Montez Sweat came over. But about this too, it's about getting pressure. The entire front getting pressure together. All 4 of those guys creating pressure on 475 pass rush plays, 47 pressures is pretty solid. So that's a pass rush grade of 64. If you look at Jacob Martin, this is why I think the Bears signed him. Now, I'm not saying he's an answer, but I think he's very much a Yannick Ngakoue type of player. So why would we get Ngakoue when we already got Jacob Martin? You look at him last year, very limited. 107 pass rushes, but 14. That's 1 in every 8, 1 in every 7. Yeah, 7 to 8 pressures, plays between pressures. But here's the thing I don't like about him. Those missed tackles, just like Yannick Ngakoue, super high. I don't like those missed tackles. Those are super, super high. So I think we run with him in the same fashion we would have with the Yannick Ngakoue style. But we have, let's go back here. But we have Booker now. So if you were needing someone to fill in for that number 3 guy, yeah, Yannick could be that. But you've got Austin Booker. Then you can sprinkle in a little Jacob Martin with Jamry Chroma or Khalid Kareem. Khalid Kareem had 2 blocked punts last year, 2 blocked field goals, kicking, either way you slice it. So I think we might be done at defensive end. Then we signed Byron Cowart, Deshaun Mallory, Keith Randolph. Nothing I'm super excited about. We could add something mid-season, though. So, all right, I'm missing stuff here in the chat. I see Martin as a 4th defensive end currently. I do as well. I don't think there's any other way to see that. I could see him being in number 5 if Jamry Chroma has a big enough preseason. Fight with, yep, I see him fighting with Jamry for sure. Jamry is special. If you haven't seen my video on him, yeah, I did this on mine too. I actually had this exact scenario on another video, except I said he's probably going to be around $5 million. Really, Carl Lawson's in the $3 million range. Ogba would be in the 5. I just don't know about Ogba's passion for the game. And I don't know if we want to interrupt what we have here. When you pick up a Jamry Chroma, and I think the Bears still like Dominic Robinson, and then Khalid Kareem had a decent year, and he's a good special teamer. Khalid Kareem is a really good special teamer guy. So carrying him as your 5th or 6th defensive end, you really only carry 5 on the team. So if you're really sitting with this right now, Montez Sweat, Jacob Martin, Austin Booker, DeMarcus Walker, and then you want to carry someone for special teams, Khalid Kareem is an elite special teamers. So I like Jamry Chroma, but he might get stashed, or he might get pushed into defensive interior. He played 1/3 of the snaps at defensive interior, 2/3 on the edge. I think he's an edge long term, but they might have a DeMarcus Walker type of role where they rotate DeMarcus Walker and Jamry Chroma. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this comes out. So we'll see how that rolls. And then the last one we'll get here. This is the secondary. And you see we added Paul Maiola. He was the last addition at linebacker. Carl Jones. But really, this secondary is stacked with Kevin Byard, Jonathan Owens. Jonathan Owens, I think, is very underrated. I think a lot of people are sleeping on how good he is, but to have him come in instead of having to have Elijah Hicks come in, really, that's a huge upgrade. You're not seeing a huge production drop between him and Byard. And then Greg Stroman, Jalen Jones can play both safety and nickel. Terrell Smith is a great backup to both Tyreek and Jalen Johnson. And like I said, Tyreek Stevenson, Jalen Johnson, I think those are both top 10 corners in the league. I'm very biased, but the numbers back it up too with the second half of the year. Did I have Trenton Gill still there? I shouldn't have. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that should be gone. Trenton Gill should be out there. He was cut. My bad. He is gone. He's not on the team. In fact, I think he's in Denver. He's somewhere else. He's on another team. He's already signed somewhere else. So he's gone. My bad. I just didn't edit that out before I was going over that. So there's the team as it stands now. We are sitting at 87 guys on the 90-man roster. So we can take 90 into camp. And really, this is what I like. We don't have a lot of expiring contracts. Really, you've got Keenan Allen, Tevin Jenkins, Khalil Herbert that are high-impact offensive ones if Coleman Shelton ends up starting him too. But the rest of those aren't huge names that we can't afford to lose. And on defense, it's really Jack Sanborn. Greg Stroman is a great backup nickel. And other than that, we're in great position for this year and next year. We should, if what's his name with the long hair? Oh, freak. You guys know who I'm talking about, but he said the Bears could go to the Super Bowl this year. If he's right, then we freaking have a 2-year window here where we could absolutely capitalize. So move Karan to center. I see that rumor going around. I don't see any basis for it. He's way too big and he's way too valuable as a tackle. I don't see that happening. If anything, I can see maybe the other undrafted free agent that we just talked about from Canada. What's his name? Theo Benedict. Maybe he could get moved in. Maybe Nate Davis will work out at center. I don't know. Maybe that's a solution. Ryan Bates at guard and Nate Davis gets moved to center. I don't know. Nick Wright. Yep. Nick Wright. You guys got it. All right. We're on 47 minutes here, so I want to get through all this stuff. So here's where I see our camp battles right now. Really on offense to center, and it really doesn't matter which guy wins this battle for center position. Coleman Shelton or Ryan Bates. It's really just whoever jails best with Caleb and whoever snaps the freaking ball. If we're 100 for 100 on snapping the ball on time and in the right place, and we don't have freaking mix-ups and miscues and fumbles because of that, that's what's most important to me with the rookie quarterback that wants to come in, be on timing, have his concepts down, and get a flow going. That's all I care about. Matt Pryor and Jake Curhan for tackle 4, Dante Pettis, Velus Jones Jr., and Elon Wheeler for return specialist. And then tight end 3, tight end 4. This is what I got for that. Skip the salary cap stuff. It doesn't really matter right now. We got about 17 million guys, just so you know. So here's kind of where I see the tight end spot. And no, it's not a given that Mo Ali Cox is going to get cut. Right now, that's the rumor. The Colts are overloaded at tight end, and Mo Ali Cox carries no cap hit for them. So he's kind of the given that he would be the one to go. Oh, I see green on the screen. Eric Harper, man, I appreciate you, dude. Appreciate all you guys. Appreciate the super chat there. I'm going to give a big star for that one. Put it on the screen. And if you guys don't mind, hit the like button. We are in slow season, but I appreciate all you guys tuning in. And it's always nice to have your guys' support, so thank you. All right. So here are the 2 tight ends that I see, and I really think Mercedes Lewis is going to be what we end up doing. We end up bringing Mercedes Lewis back. You guys know that we have Tommy Sweeney and, who was the other? Let's go back here. Tommy Sweeney and the rookie, Brennan Bates, the undrafted free agent. Now, Steven Carlson's not a given that he would be off the team. I mean, he's been with the team for a couple of years, so we'll see what happens. But this is what I see as for us picking someone up. These are their pass blocking ratings. That's why I put him here. And you look at Mercedes Lewis. Yeah, last year he didn't have any drops. He didn't really have any opportunities to drop. He had the 1 touchdown in the end zone. And they're about similar on contested catch rate. But when you go down the line here with these guys, let me get rid of me. very, very stable, both of them on pass blocking. Last year, Moale Cox just didn't get a lot of opportunity to play. So I'm not really down on that 56. They're both good pass blocking tight ends. And Moale Cox has better hands for sure. He's going to be a better weapon for us than Mercedes Lewis. But I think Mercedes Lewis is a league minimum. And he's said he still has gas in the tank. He'd still like to play. He was obviously with us already. I can see us just bringing Mercedes Lewis back. So I see that being the route we could go for sure. Big dog get another touchdown this year. It'd be fun to see him get one. And then here's what everyone was talking about. You talked about Ogba. Here's kind of the three options right now that are being kind of floated out there. Emmanuel Ogba, who is the best option of these, but he's kind of had some work ethic issues is what you're hearing. Some laziness. I don't know what validity is there to there. You got Yannick Ngakoue. I'm going to show you guys Yannick Ngakoue. This is why I'm so down on Yannick Ngakoue. Some people think that I'm just being irrational, but it's not. Look at the red. We're not even into here yet. Look at all this red. Look at that nasty, nasty red. And it's not just 1 year. Look at this. Missed tackle, 29.2, 22.7, 22.7, 27.3. This is part of why I started my channel. I was in the chat room on Swifty's channel when I decided to start my own channel. Is people were talking about Yannick Ngakoue and us signing him. I was like, no, please, for the love of God, no, please don't sign Yannick Ngakoue. And then I think Ryan Poles kind of got forced in the corner. There were no other options last year. And that's one of the cool things about where we are now is he talked about when teams do better, people want to come. It's easier to attract free agents. It's easier to get people to come to your team. We don't have to settle for people like Yannick Ngakoue. And I know he's had some big sack numbers. Let's make this bigger again. We'll go back there. Those sack numbers look impressive. But like I said, it's not all about the sacks. It's 44 pressures on 434. That's great. 62 on 554. That's great. 34 on 408. That's below average. 51. I mean, so those numbers are decently in line. But then you look at this, and then you look at the tackling, and you look at the pass rush grades. He's gone downhill, and I don't think he's a fit for us anymore. I mean, you look at him, and same size as Jacob Martin, same speed, same style of play. Jacob Martin had decent production. Go with the young, cheap guy that we've already got, and I'm good running it with Jacob Martin. I know Jacob Martin's not Yannick Ngakoue, but really it's more about how Yannick got supported by a supporting cast as well. And, yeah, Yannick could do fine with Montez Sweat, but so does DeMarcus Walker. So could Jacob Martin. So could Jamri Chroma. So could Austin Booker. So I'm not sold on bringing Yannick back at all. And then Carl Lawson's the other one. The huge downfall with Carl Lawson is he can never stay healthy. He's always perennially injured. In fact, let me go there and show you guys Carl Lawson. I know not everybody has a PFF subscription, so this is kind of fun for some of you guys to see. So this is last year, and when he's missing games, it's because of injuries. 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, and 16 are the games that he played in. Those are the weeks he played in. The other ones were injury, and it's every year he's got injuries. These low numbers aren't because of talent. He's a super, super talented player right from day one. I mean, there's good things to see in here. These pass rush grades are phenomenal. Tackling grades, I mean, he's a better tackler than Yannick by far. He's a really good tackler. The problem is just staying healthy. He can't stay healthy. So when he was healthy, 49 pressures on 432 pass rushing plays, 64 on 437. That's freaking phenomenal. That's why he got an 85 pass rush grade there. So the problem is he can't stay healthy. So do we take a flyer on him? I would. I personally would for $3 million. I'd take a $3 million flyer on him for sure. But who knows what we'll end up doing. So there's those. And then there's the Connor Williams thing. Now, guys, I talk about Connor Williams so much because I want Connor Williams. But there's no rumors of it. He's got to get healthy. And then, so this wouldn't be till a midseason thing. So I'll probably cool down the Connor Williams talk for now, and then we go forward. But all right, so let's go back here. And then the last thing I wanted to show, we're hitting right on an hour now, so we will probably start wrapping it up. Let me look at some of the comments. Let me get rid of this off the screen. Get back to me. FGB. Let's give an FGB. Anybody want to write FGB in the comments? If anybody follows me on Twitter, I am annoying when it comes to Packers fans. I hate the Packers. Guys, I tone it down on this channel more than you realize. On Twitter, I'm kind of insufferable. I hate the Packers. I irrationally just hate the Packers. I really, really have a disdain for the Packers. I'd rather give Booker more time. I think it's pretty consensus, guys. And when I put my Booker video out there, okay, Austin Booker has a multitude of moves. All right, I'm gonna show it. If we go over an hour, I apologize, guys. Forgive me if you need to go somewhere. I totally understand. Let me pull this up though. Austin Booker is going to be special. I can't even tell you guys how special Austin Booker is going to be. He's going to be a dude. So here's Austin Booker. This is college last year. This is his entire college. This is why he didn't get drafted higher. This is Austin Booker. And look, not starter, part-time, 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 starter for one game, part-time, part-time, part-time. 505 snaps total in college. Pass rush last year of 80.6. I'm going to show you guys in – here's my notes on it. I'm scattered here, guys. But give me a second. Okay. All right. Austin Booker. Sorry, got to get this off there. I know this is hard to see. This is my notes on Austin Booker. It won't mean much to you guys till I put my video together. But there was a huge play. He was not starting, and he wasn't a starter all year, but he wasn't getting much time at all. And in the beginning of these games, it's easy to see why he transferred. So he wasn't Minnesota. He transferred over. He wanted to get more playing time, and everyone kind of agrees that he should have stayed one more year to develop. But his mentality was, I want to come into the league and learn there. And if a team is going to take that, I'll develop there. And right here against Nevada and then into BYU, in between these two games, there was a huge play against BYU where he showed his motor, where I think was the big difference. And I'm going to show that on the video. I don't want to spoil too much, but in that Illinois game, he had a big play, and then in the BYU game, look at his time. He got more playing time after that. He showed his motor. He showed his ability. He has a ghost move. I don't know if I played defensive end, so I don't know if I wish I knew everything I knew now back then playing, but the advanced techniques he has, the thing he has is the stuff that's hard to teach. So the things he already has in his arsenal are going to be the things that's hard to learn. So he has these advanced techniques and moves. His double switch move, his swim move, his ghost move is really cool to watch. So I'm not going to spoil everything here, but Austin Booker is going to be a fun player for us to develop. And the rumor, I'm not finding it anywhere, the rumor is he's already put 15 pounds on. And that was his big downfall. Because if you look at all the talk on him, in fact, let me go. I'm going to go to this page real quick. I'll just read it to you guys. I'm going to remove that off of there. Put this here. All right, so some of the guys that talked about Austin Booker. Come on. All right, it's having a hard time pulling up. I'm not going to sit here and lag on the stream. I'm going to get my video anyways soon. I'm going to put this video together. But the big thing with him was he was undersized and he needs to develop. Those are the only negatives they had to say about him. In fact, his comp is Max Crosby. And when your comp is Max Crosby and you can move and flex and do the things that Max Crosby does, that's going to be a special player, in my opinion. I think we've got a really good steal. Austin Booker just needs to feast on Chicago deep dish pizza and Italian beefs. Add 15 pounds and he'll be a beast. The next Max Crosby. I love it. The rumor is he's already put 15 pounds on, and I've got pictures I'll show side by side when you see him at camp. In fact, let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. This is my Twitter. But let's pull. This is from camp, and if you saw him before, his legs and those arms are already beefed up. So I don't doubt that he's already put 15 pounds on. He already looks more built, and it doesn't. Obviously, it's not on the belly there. He didn't just pound the deep dish pizza and the Polish beefs. He didn't just pound the food. He's been working relentlessly, and I think he's going to surprise some people. I think he's going to surprise some people with what he does for this team. He's going to be a fun player to follow. He reposted this. New chapter begins. Man, yeah, I'm so excited for this team, guys. I'm so stoked for this team. I'm beyond elated. Yeah, you could tell he gained. That was from rookie minicamp. So that picture right there, number 94, that's him at rookie minicamp. And you can tell he's gained weight. For sure you can. And the one I was surprised to see, because I saw him before, Kieran Amagaji at rookie minicamp, man, he looks like the fridge, man. He's freaking big. He's a big boy. So, all right, we're going a little long here. I wanted to keep it 45 minutes. We kept it an hour. I want to thank you guys for coming on. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. I'll have more coming up. The other thing I wanted to add was this. I did want to show our common schedule. I'll do that real quick. I did more on that when we did the schedule release. These are the uncommon opponents. So I don't know if a lot of you guys know. Most everyone should. We play the same opponents as our opponents. We play our division rivals twice each. That's 6 games. And then we play this year we play the AFC South and the NFC West. So those other 6 games are against them. And then to fill out the rest of the roster, the rest of the games, we have 3 uncommon opponents. Sorry, 4 and 4. So 8 games there. 4 AFC South, 4 NFC West. So we play the same teams as the other guys in our division, except we have 3 uncommon. Our 3 uncommon opponents were the 3 worst records from last year and 3 of the weakest from this year as far as projections go. You look at the Lions, they have the Bills, Buccaneers, and Cowboys. The Vikings have the Giants, the Falcons, and the Jets. And the Packers have the Eagles, Saints, and Dolphins. So all things being equal, it gives a great start for Caleb to come into his career. You get him being able to come in and have a schedule where you have the Titans right off the bat, and then the uncommon ones. Week 5, the Panthers. Week 8, right after the bye, the Commanders. Where's the last one? Uncommon opponents. I don't know why I'm missing it here. Oh, Week 10 against the Patriots. So the first half of the season, before we even hit the division, he gets to play a little weaker competition, which you might say, well, that doesn't sharpen us. Well, we're going to have plenty of opportunity to sharpen ourselves. We got the we got the Texans, we got the Colts, we got the Rams, got the Jaguars in London. Those are all going to be great opportunities for us. And so, all right, back here. So right here, Rob says Green Bay's uncommon opponents are tough. I agree. Here's the thing with Green Bay, guys. They had 9 wins last year, and their fans are insufferable. They're acting like Lions fans the year before, except the Packers aren't proven. The Packers have a quarterback who is a dopey moron who doesn't understand the concepts as well as like C.J. Stroud. I think he's a doofus. I can't stand Jordan Love. We're his daddy, and he already knows it. But they had 9 wins. I also shared on Twitter a video about, this isn't a biased one. It's not my video. It was about luck in the NFL. And every year a team gets lucky. It's things with like how a fumble, not after it's generated, but which way it goes. Because once a fumble happens, either team could pounce on it or miss field goals by the other team. All the things that come down to luck, uncontrollable events and factors that make the outcome. The Packers were the luckiest team last year, accounting to at least 2 wins. So they were a 9-win team. So with luck, 7 wins, and they act like they freaking arrived. I can't wait for them to get owned this year. I do see the Lions winning the division if they can win like last year, but I see it coming down to the last week. And if we can pull off 13 wins somehow, we're going to win this division. And I don't think that's crazy talk. I don't think it's going to come down to that stretch. So I showed in my video on this schedule, there's 3 gauntlets right here, the 17th, 24th, and 28th. We play those 3 games, all division games within 11 days. That's the first gauntlet. So how we do on that gauntlet is going to be a huge determining factor. So 11-17, 11-24, and 11-28. and we're going to win that Packers game because Caleb Williams is the quarterback. His birthday is the 18th. My birthday is the 17th. He's going to win it for me, and he's going to win it for him. And we're going to break this freaking streak, and we're going to own them. That's all I have to say about that. So that's the first gauntlet. Then we have 10 days. We go to San Francisco, and then 8 days, and the second gauntlet starts. The 16th, which is Thursday night. I'm sorry. Is that Monday? I think it's Monday. 16th. Yeah, Monday Night Football against the Vikings in Minnesota. And luckily, those last 2 games are at home. So the nice thing about this gauntlet is there's 4 games out of the 6 that are at home, but 5 out of the 6 are against division opponents. So it's going to be huge. 16th, 22nd, and 26th. That's 10 games, or I'm sorry, 3 games in 10 days. Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and then Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and then Thursday Night Football. 10 games apart between those 2. So one gauntlet in 11 games, 1 gauntlet in 10 games. It's going to be freaking brutal. All right. Eric, I fired a production manager when I took over my facility because I noticed a Brett Favre bottlehead on the desk during the walkthrough of my interview. This is freaking awesome. Hey, you can't have a hostile work environment. You've got to be able to have peace at work. 100%. You got to be able to handle it. I love it. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up. A lot of good things happening. We will see more on Thursday. The media will be in there on Thursday. We'll have interviews on Thursday. You'll hear from Coach Eberflus probably. He's usually always the first day of interviews. You'll hear from Caleb Williams most likely. You'll hear from some of the key guys. I think TJ Edwards is the key to our defense. I think he's the star. He and Montez Sweat. So you should hear from some of those guys. So we got some good things coming up. We are going to wrap this up. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so. I am taking a little more time during this downtime. It's summer. My girls are out of school. I am going to try to get that video out this weekend, though, for Austin Booker. So look forward to that. Other than that, I'll just update you guys on news. I'll do little things now and then, but I won't be pounding out the videos like I was before. But I do appreciate your guys' support. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. We got a lot of good things upcoming, and this is going to be huge. We've only got, I think, 8 weeks until training camp begins, until the preseason officially begins. It's May 21st. And August 1st is the Hall of Fame game. That's just over 2 months away. We're barely 2 months away from the Hall of Fame game. So this is coming up real fast. So, all right. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Here's the schedule on your screen one more time so you can check it out. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, as always, bear down.